Hello, hi everybody, and yeah, just coming on for a bit of live connection now. I have, let us see what I have. Um, I have Felicia coming on. We're going to do a bit of facial acupuncture. And I think this is great because not only will it keep us young, but it will also keep us from de-stressing. So it will. And Felicia's great because what she's actually done is that she's done a combination of facial acupressure points, and funnily enough, they have they have actually an overlap with emotional freedom techniques. I was just trying to think of what it is, the term to use. Now let us see. She's on live anyway. And there you go. Actually works because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than everything than the last time that I did it. Yes, I think we have. We do.
I have arrived.
It's different than the last time we came on because I now have a little man here or a woman here at the bottom so that I can actually press on her and invite you. And could you see anything at the bottom of yours about coming on live or joining me live or anything like that?
Yeah, it was go away. Sorry. Somebody's trying to call me. I'll have to call them back later.
Time is everything, isn't it?
It's a busy day today. What with clearing out the garage and doing this, it's been really sort of wow, whatever. But,
yeah, but we all need to clear stuff out.
Different.
Yeah,
it's definitely different because I'm sure I wasn't at the bottom before.
Oh no, you were. Sorry.
Fine.
No, but you know what? Do you know what it might be? Because when you're the host or you're the person invited, you get to be on the top. So you do.
Oh well. Hey ho.
Hey ho! So the next time you do it with me, we can shift places. But because we were talking about something the other day, and you were talking about the facial acupressure points. And I was saying to you, you know, how similar, because with the emotion, in fact, you were saying, because we both do tapping, how there's a correlation between, you know, the tapping and the facial acupressure points. I'm getting into a tongue twister there. So, yeah, so you're going to go through a sequence and explain to us what it is that happens and what the points that we're actually using. So, over to you, Felicia, and you can tell me what it is you're doing and what you want me to do. The glasses
right,
on.
well, I've just been on Instagram doing my last two sessions of my 7 sequences or 7 sessions of facial reflexology. So this is really quite good. I'm just going to reiterate some of it. I'm not going to do all of them, but obviously the most important, I mean, I've just done the detoxification and headaches, which is going to be very prevalent for the next month because obviously the amount of people going through overindulgence, for instance, of food and whatever. So if you want to go over to my Instagram or page, my Instagram account, you'll find them on there. I'm not going to do those at the moment, but they are very much obviously going to be required next month for a lot of people. I won't be bothering with them, but you know, that's me. So what we're going to do is going to go through a basic sequence. I take all my students and my clients through because I teach this as well as obviously do treatments with it.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to go, you just follow me. There is in the middle of eyebrow, you just follow your line up and you do literally locate the top middle of part of the forehead. And what you're going to do is going to do a horizontal, as though you're aiming towards the hairline.
And does it matter right or left, Felicia?
It's bilateral. So what you're going to do, right first, then left. So you don't do the two together.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because there's actually there's a natural hollow there that you can actually feel. At least there is in my head anyway, that you can actually work on that. Yeah. So what's this one for then?
This is related to the bile duct, the gallbladder bile duct on the right hand side, which only applies on the right hand side of the body. And then on the left hand side, you've got your spleen.
Okay.
Because obviously you're clearing out your blood vessels, your blood cells, and this relates to both right and left hand side. That side relates to the right hand side of the head, then the crown chakra. This side relates to the left side. So what you're doing is you're
and it makes sense. Sorry.
And this is these points I'm going to show you are the relaxation points. So it gets your body. It's like saying when you go and speak to a friend, you're introducing yourself to somebody. This is exactly what these points do. You're introducing us to say, this is what's happening, guys. Heads up, because this is what's going to change everything. So the next point is the side. If you go to the eyebrow and sweep up slightly, so you're in alignment with the corner of the eye, sort of.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you go literally horizontally. Now these points, everybody has a problem with. They are tight usually, sore, tender, painful. Sometimes when I'm working with clients, these particular points will in actual fact be very, very noticeable, and the clients will say, it's painful, can you back off? Because they're either in tears. They're either in tears or they are not able to cope with just a small touch. It's like, back off completely. These two areas here are related to your cervical spine. And cervical spine, get my notes now. Oh, gee whiz. Cervical spine. And their shoulders. All of your eyebrows are related to your shoulders. Now,
so it's your neck. So for those that don't know, your cervical spine is basically your neck going into your shoulders. And there are so many muscles that are inserted into, into your occiput that come down through your neck and into your shoulders. So working on these points, that's brilliant.
Also for EFT, this is obviously eyebrow points. Now, obviously, if you're going to be working on meridians, this is going to be bladder 3. Bladder 1 starts in the corner of the eye. Then you come up and you get to bladder 3. So what you're working on is clearing your back.
So all the tension you're holding, basically you're clearing your back. Oh, that's cool.
So you're sending a message down to central nervous system, in other words, because this here in facial reflexology is also related to all of the cervical spine and also the axis that actually holds the head to the spine.
That is such a great technique to have.
It's a very, very powerful point. Your axis is holding your head. It's very delicate, but it's very, very powerful. And what will happen is if you have an accident, for instance, or you have a back shunt, which a lot of people do when they have an accident sometimes in the back of the car, that has an impact on your cervical spine and the axis, causing a complete shift in all your meridians and your aura fields and everything, putting you completely in mayhem. You then go around thinking you've been fixed when you've been to the GP or the hospital. Yes, you've been fixed physically, but energetically, no, you haven't. So if you do particular sequences with your spine, whether a realignment physically or using facial reflexology, the body will start to reclimatize itself back into positions where it's meant to be actually sitting correctly,
Yeah.
back in alignment, in other words. So that's
Yeah.
that. Then the next point is the center of the forehead.
Yep.
So you do between the two.
Yep.
And this point is related to your pituitary gland, which is
Okay.
the master gland of the endocrine system.
Yep.
It's related to clearing out your pineal gland.
Yep. Which is in,
And
yep,
this
that's your
is
head.
good for
Yep.
obviously intuition.
Third eye and all that.
And
Yeah.
third eye, very good for your parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Neck and throat. That's right, throat. Because if you're going to be on the facial reflexology, if you can imagine you put your body on top of your head face, that is where your throat is.
Okay.
Here. And then
And
what you're going to do is
I can feel that actually.
Sideways.
Yeah, because I've actually got an indent there, so I have in my forehead. Even before you worked on it, or I was working on it. Yeah.
And then when you do reflexology, the thing you need to do is always finish up on this particular point here, because this is called the zero facial reflexology.
So it's for what you're doing, sort of like there, just there, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a little dent in the front of the ears. You locate it.
Yeah.
Preferably do not go gung ho. Just make sure it's only sort of a light touch.
Okay.
It's amazing how I've been seeing different people doing gung hos. Believe me, they've been really going in and digging in. You don't need to do that. Just do it very, very gently, because your ears have got these very delicate, very tiny bones in, and you may sort of do some harm. So what you're doing here is your solar plexus, calming and toning your solar plexus, and that gives a message over. Doing this particular point, you are finishing that set of sequences. Before, if you were to go on to the next set of sequences, this would be an indicator you'd be finishing the first step before you go over to the next step.
Okay. And the thing about that, I think that's such a fascinating point as well, because we hold so much tension in our jaws and tightness. So actually gently massaging it allows your jaw to relax. And, you know, for headaches or anything like that, we hold so much, you know, the force of the pressure, you know, in our jaws, that, you know, the tension that we're holding. So the ability to, you know, to work on this, I think this is a great sequence to actually do when, you know, meditation, before you go into meditation, you know, to actually work on these points and allow your, you know, so taking the pressure off your head and your neck and your shoulders. And then tapping into your breathing, it's sort of like it'll definitely work in sequence and bringing you into that calm space very, very, you know, very, very quickly. So it is.
It's also very good for people who have got chronic insomnia. It's very good for people who have had disrupted sleep. They've gone to sleep and felt as though they have slept, but when they woke up, no, they haven't, because they've not had restorative sleep. And they also get the benefits of going into REM when you do these points, when sometimes you find that you go to sleep and you don't actually have a full proper night's sleep. By doing this particular relaxation sequences before you go to bed, probably about an hour to half an hour beforehand, and you can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it as many times as you like, you will find yourself falling asleep before you finished, and you will go to sleep, wake up next morning and don't even realize you actually did not finish the sequence.
Yeah, and waking refreshed, which is nice. Yeah,
it is. I actually taught somebody last week. They had a problem with one of their children, and they said, look, what can you help me with? My child has been having lots of problems, not going to sleep. They've slept, but they've not actually had correct amount of sleep. They're worrying, they're doing this, they're doing that. That's easy. I can teach you to do these particular sequence, but I actually taught the child themselves, which is excellent, because it's easy to do. Whereas the feet, when I do feet, you can teach it, but you have to take your shoes and socks off. You can also do it by hands as well, but I obviously find that the facial reflexology is so much easier.
Yeah,
But I taught the child the actual sequence I just taught you, and the parent actually reported back to me that they had actually continuously applied the sequence over and over again. And when they actually went to sleep that night, they were so tired, they actually went to sleep, slept, woke up next morning, and felt completely different.
That's amazing.
And they said it was so rewarding. The child was so happy. They were bouncing, they were smiling, their eyes were sparkling. And the mum said to me, we didn't even realise that existed. We didn't actually, we'd already been told that, you know, you could do this, that and the other, but this wasn't even on the criteria. And I said, well, and she said, you were recommended to me by a friend of mine. You've done the same for their child. So we thought we'd give it a go. It's so easy to apply.
I know. When you think of all the tools that are out there for people that they can, for mums, you know, that they can actually use not only on themselves, but on their children. You know, that's actually so easy to do, because rather than having, you know, your child stressed and not sleeping and getting cranky or whatever, to be able to do this and to teach them how to do it, it's like self-soothing. So that's really, really powerful. So it is.
Yeah, because you're empowering them to do it. It's up to them then if they actually take it forwards and actually apply it to themselves. But I must say, most of my students either do this for their own development, and they notice massive differences. They've got clarity of mind from, you know, especially when you do these particular points, you're clearing out your brain, you're clearing out all of your negative thoughts, you're getting rid of them. It's like saying to them, I'm going to do a complete overhaul here. It doesn't give you monkeys whether you agree with me or not, ego. You're going back in place here, you know, you're clearing stuff out. And you're clearing out the cobwebs, all the stuff that you've held on to for a long time. These particular reflexology points for absolutely, well, really, this particular set of sequences I always start with and end with. Yeah. It's like a sandwich. What you're going to be using in the middle, this is obviously an amplifier, and it switches everything on. It switches in, turns on, and tunes up, in other words. So you are neutralizing it, and you are sparking off an energy which you didn't actually have before, which is great.
Yeah. So we'll just do a quick run through the points, and we'll keep it with just this session for today, and then we'll go on and we'll do another session whenever suits you. You know, so we'll take it. So today is all about relaxation and what it is that you can actually do, how it is that you, for your headaches, if you've got headaches, to unclamp your jaw, to clear your head, to take the tension out of your neck, to relax your shoulders. So all of these sequences are really, you know, we can actually use. So if we go through them again, just, you know, point by point. So, okay.
Okay. So we're going to do the right hand side first.
Yeah.
The reason we don't do the 2 points together, my tutor always said to me, because you will confuse your crown chakra. You'll confuse your inner workings between your right and left hemisphere of your brain. It will get so confused. It will say, well, what you want me to do, you know?
Yeah. Which side you want me to work on? Yeah. And how long do you do it for? That's the other thing. You know,
when you're doing the points, you either do it 12 or 15 times on each side.
Grant.
I don't need to count anymore because I just do it automatically. Because I've been doing it for about 20 years now. So it's a case of I can just do it, you know, without even thinking about it.
Perfect.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So what you're doing, remember, you're balancing. When you're doing all of this, you're balancing your body. You're putting everything back in alignment to where it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But you're creating a sense of deep peace within inside you.
Yeah.
And obviously the body then responds accordingly.
Yeah.
And if you're working on someone else like I do quite frequently, when you work, I mean, I work with my finger at the moment, but you can work with crystals.
Oh,
okay. The crystals will come up with a lot more of oh, that's a sore point, ouch, rather than the finger.
Yeah.
Because you can be a bit lenient. You can be very lenient with yourself with your finger. Whereas if you apply the crystal, it can be rather, that's rather a noticeable point Oh, right, okay.
I'm going to
So
use
you can
I'm going to use my citrine now for my third eye for abundance. So
yeah,
so either side of the eyebrow then, and there are going to be
the
sub
eyebrow,
points. Yeah, so that's going to be
which
fairly
is
normal.
obviously,
Yeah,
if you're doing, I'll do these and then I'll show you about the other points. But at the moment, these points here are bladder 3.
yeah,
And obviously this is connecting with your bladder, which is exactly, goes all the way down your back. So it starts off at the corner of your eye here,
yeah,
goes up as 2 lines and goes over the head as 2 lines. When it joins the top of the shoulders at the top here, it then goes into 4 lines all the way down your back to your glutes, goes down into your legs as 2 lines, and then goes to the back of the knee, where then it just goes down as 1 line, down all the way down to your little toe. So it's quite a long meridian,
yeah,
and it also relates to the meridian as well. So you're not only clearing out, when you do these points here for EFT or facial reflexology, you
yeah.
are clearing out your spine,
Your
your
spine.
back,
Yeah,
you're releasing tension out your back. All right?
fantastic, excellent.
Now.
The bit in the
So
middle.
do this
Yeah,
one
I
into the
got
middle, third
yeah.
eye. I think I'll be doing my chrysocolla actually one moment. I'll use me chrysocolla, girls, you know, or men, whoever's watching.
Yeah, I'm using citrine. Actually, I can nearly feels like it's burning. Wow, there's heat out of it.
Yeah.
Cold heat.
It's really quite powerful. Yeah. And then you go to the 0 point. Now, in this particular point, as I keep on saying to everybody, you can do this on its own, completely on its own, because this covers so many places on aspects of the body. It covers your solar plexus, which is your stomach. So you're calming and rebalancing your stomach. You're also empowering yourself. You can also, it's related to the ears, the eyes, the spinal column, the arms, the legs, and the adrenal gut glands on top of your kidneys.
Yeah, really, really important.
So
Flooding your body with cortisol, basically overwhelming your body. So it is. So the ability to be able to calm that down is huge.
yeah.
So it is. And it's interesting because all this week my theme is working with fear. So all of these techniques can be bringing you into that calm space where you can, where you can bring fear down into a manageable level and allow your body to relax so that you can think more clearly. It's really cool, Felicia.
Because this particular point here, if you're going into a board meeting, for instance, which I've done with quite a few people who go into board meetings, and anything that's related to business, if you're going into a very volatile,
high-powered
conference or anything like that, and you know that there's going to be a few sort of fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, at this point,
yeah,
believe you me, you'll be sitting there where everybody else is ranting and raving, you going, okay guys, I'm based here, I'm fine, let everything just wash over me, you know, just get on with it, I'll just leave it all to you.
Yeah.
But you'll still have the clarity to carry out whatever you are there for with confidence, and you'll have so much strength and courage behind you. They won't know what's hit them.
Yeah.
if you are obviously doing a presentation, for instance.
Yeah, because that's really, really interesting, because for a lot of women in particular, when they're dealing with male energy, and particularly if it's aggressive and confrontational, you know, we have a tendency to shut down and protect ourselves because we don't, you know, we are affected by the vibes, you know, the aggression that's actually coming out. And particularly if there's combined male energy. So the ability to be able to take yourself to that calm space where it's like it just filters around you. You know, it's like I see you in the rock and the river is flowing around you.
Yeah.
So that you're there and you're calm and you're centered, and you're still thinking clearly. So you haven't actually shut down, so that you're feeling empowered. So cool. I love it.
I know. Right, for the EFT points, right, to do Fahrenheit's head, the eyebrows we've just covered. The side of the eyes, when you do this is small intestine.
Yeah.
When you tap these, you're informing the small intestine to decompose any ideas that haven't been actually brought forwards, or you have blockages in that particular meridian, which is not enabling the body to go forwards and amplify the energies you are applying. So if you work these points, that's exactly what you're doing. You're clearing, you're detoxifying, you're testing. These points here under the eye are stomach 3. Obviously you're getting your stomach shifted. It has its own actual voice, your stomach, which most people don't listen to, as we only know too well. You go into a supermarket and you buy something you're not supposed to have, like I did the other day, and you still buy it. But if you work these particular points, you get the message across: stomach, I'm sorry, please forgive me. You do the Ho'oponopono on it.
Yes. Please forgive me.
And then you can say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I let you
go. This particular point here is related to your immune system. It's also on the governing vessel. Now, the governing vessel starts off on the perineum. And it ends up on a particular point on the top lip. And what you're doing is when I do the zip up, which I teach my students to do and my clients to do, to protect themselves from other people's energies, this is where the governing vessel ends up. And what you do is, it's like putting yourself into a wetsuit. So you zip yourself up all the way over in a straight line all the way, and it ends up here. And what I do is, when you do that, you seal it in and throw away the key. And that's protection. When you do that, is protection from the back of you. From the back. People who come to you who've got some very nasty vibes and you don't want to be really near them, you are then protected. Then this particular point here is what's called the end point of the conception vessel. Now the conception vessel comes from the perineum up the front of the body, protecting all of the front of you, all of your energy centers, your meridians. It protects your auric fields, and that's what this particular point does. And when you come onto the clavicle or the collarbone here, is kidney 27. Now, kidney 27 balances the body. If you tap on this on a regular basis on its own, it literally reconfigures the whole of your body. Very well, in other words. And the point under arm is part 1. Part 1. Part 1 goes from here. I'm just going to have to do this very quickly. You sweep up from your arm, holding your arm underneath you, and go all the way down to the little finger. That is your heart. All right. So you always go that in that direction. So when you're tapping underneath the armpit, you are speaking to your heart. In other words. Then you do the head, which is center of governing vessel. Very good point, bringing in new light, letting go of the old mess that you created in your head, and you're really opening up like a channel of light, opening it up. Now, when you do the gamut points, on the center here is small intestine. And so is this point here. So if you do, when you do the tapping on, even though you're tapping small intestine. So you're giving over. So there's so many messages when you do the EFT. Luckily for me, I did the meridians tracing before, and I learned about the meridians way before I did my EFT. So when I did EFT, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, those points related to my meridian points. Interesting. And then when you work it out that way, things begin to start falling into place a lot easier. When you're teaching it, when you're doing it yourself, you then begin to realize, okay, fine, now I'm going to go on to this point here, that does such and such and so and so. And you can then relate what your energy is telling you. It's speaking to you, and what you actually give over as a sequence, again, is EFT. Those messages, you can understand where they're going to be going to. And from. Which makes good sense.
Absolutely, because I think, you know, the more you study and the more you delve into this, you realize the significance of how many of them like overlap with each other. So the sequence of the facial reflexology and using the the tapping, the emotional freedom techniques, that you're actually overlapping to a certain extent. But I must say, I love the sequence for the relaxation, for the facial reflexology just on its own, and to be able to do that, can you imagine starting your day off, when you go to your office, in actually just doing that and getting yourself into a calm space, how much more you'll achieve, how happier you'll feel with the job that you're doing, and how more in tune with your intuition will you feel because you're relaxed and calm and happy. So amazing session for today, Felicia. So we will probably leave that for today. What would you like to cover on the next one?
I think we're going to cover, I think we'll do headaches next time, because I always keep coming up, or no, hang on, I've been told by my spirit guides, allergies.
Oh, excellent. Brilliant. Fantastic. And can you imagine? Yeah, like,
sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because there are so many people that are allergic to, and are becoming more and more allergic to the world around them. But, and this is certainly one that we, for those that have, hay fever, that we can highlight this again when it comes to hay fever time, but definitely allergies will be great to work with. And tuning in then to what it is that, certain foods and the way they affect you, that you might actually, your body might be reacting to them. So they are,
True.
Fantastic.
True. Very true.
Do you know what? Thanks a million. It was an absolute pleasure. Loved the session. The more people that share it, the better, the more people that share, we live in a world where the more we support each other, the better. So the more people that share this with people that they know and love, and that they actually use it on themselves, and know that it works, we don't have to be living in fear all the time. There's stuff that we can actually do that will really, really empower us. So that's it for today. I'll get back onto you and we'll see when it is that we'll schedule the next one, because we're going to do a series, probably about 4 or 5 or 6. We'll see how it works out.
What happens.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Bless you, my darling. Yes. Thank you so much for your insight and wisdom. Oh, and before I go, I want to show you this piece here. This was handmade by this gorgeous lady that I am talking to. Because I said to her, I want something like a rainbow of colours that brings joy and happiness. And because, sometimes we forget to have fun, in the world that we're actually living in. That it doesn't have to be heavy, or it doesn't have to be gut-wrenching the whole time. We can bring a bit of lightness, and I suppose it's why I use the name Sparkle and Shine. It's why I put on the sparkling thing on the, when I'm doing the Instagram, simply because we need that energy to break up the denseness. So we need our energies to be sparkling. We need ourselves to be shining. We need to be connecting, with people that just allow us to laugh, to find the joy in life, because there's a lot of it out there. And the more we look for it, the more we tune into it, and the happier we are. So when we're happy, it has a knock-on effect on all of the people outside us, within our...
True, very true.
Bye, darling. Talk to you soon.
Most certainly does that.
A hug of love from me to you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.